Hello, Squirrels. I'm Assemblymember Jo Anne Simon, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about sign language, what we call American Sign Language, which is the language that people who are deaf and hard of hearing often use. And they speak with their hands very often because they're not able to speak as well verbally. And because they're not hearing, they might not understand what you mean to communicate. And so deaf people will communicate with each other with sign language. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a lesson about that. Now, I'm doing that because I used to be a teacher of children who were deaf and hard of hearing. And I've also worked as a sign language interpreter in the past. So I still remember some signs that are important to all you squirrels out there. So I'm going to start with some very basic things that you might need to know. The first thing, when you meet somebody, you want to say hello. Hello. And when you finish your conversation, you will often say what? Goodbye. Goodbye. So you see, many of the signs that we use are things that we do anyway in our everyday life. But if you don't realize that, you might be hesitant to use it with somebody who's deaf. So let me give you some other signs that are everyday signs that you might already know, but you can incorporate in your communications. One is yes, yes. And what is that? It's from the head nodding, okay? So if you remember that by thinking of you nod. So that's yes. And then the word no. Well, that's a little different. You can just shake your head. You could do that. The other thing you can do is kind of spell the word no. N-O. And so what deaf people sign is no. Kind of almost looks like a duck, but a duck you would do by your face. So no. Okay? The other thing that is, what is the golden word? The golden rule is to say thank you. So you can say thank you to people. I often do that when I'm driving and somebody has let me in. I might say thank you. Sometimes I think it's a little funny because they might think I'm blowing them a kiss, but not exactly. It's a little bit like that. Just thank you. Another very important sign, because we all need to say it, right? Sorry. When you've done something that you didn't mean, you just say sorry. That's a very common sign and an important sign, I think, for everybody to know. Another one is help. Many of us need help or might offer help to someone else. And the sign for help is this. Think about that if you're helping your grandma across the street. You might help her by holding her elbow or grabbing her arm. So help. Or maybe you would lift something for her. So this is a sign for help. Maybe that'll help you remember it. Another sign is coming and going. So if you want someone to come, come. You can use just your fingers or your whole hand. It's a welcoming sign. And the other sign is to go. I'm going to go somewhere. And that's, again, kind of the kind of thing you might think of on your own anyway, but I encourage you to use those signs. Another sign is stop. That's important, especially if you're crossing the street. Sometimes you might see the crossing guard might say, kind of where it comes from, stop. Okay? And then the other sign is wait. Now, mostly I use the sign wait, like hold off, right? But you could just say wait, and people will get the message. So those are some very basic signs that I think all of you squirrels can incorporate into your everyday communications. And I'm going to give you a bonus sign because it's also a sign that I know a lot of you squirrels will want to know, and that is, where's the bathroom? A way to sign that is to take a T, this is the letter T, kind of stands for toilet, and shake it. And so people will get the message. Thank you.